Morning, everybody. Welcome to my daily broadcast for the Power of Connection channel. I'm on LinkedIn live streaming. My name is Bob Umar, and today is Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. I do a daily broadcast on topics around basically your career and leadership. So we talk about personal branding, networking, entrepreneurship, thought leadership, public speaking, all that, and career development type stuff. So today's topic is all about content and why content matters and how to start doing it. And this is an example of content. So, we're going to dive into it. And basically, the way I do the broadcast is I dive into I start off with like welcomes with people and say hello to everybody. And then we get into, then I dive into the topic and give you my thoughts for about 10, 15 minutes. And then Q&A happens throughout, and then we kind of end after about 25 minutes. So if you are here, thank you very much. Welcome and appreciate you joining me today. And first things first, I'd like you to share below kind of where you're from. Let me know where you're listening in from, whether it's Africa, Asia, Australia, you name it. And you can also maybe tell me a bit about how your weekend was, any sort of plans. I see Rich is there. Morning, Rich. And Karen's there. Good morning. Thank you for coming. And if you think the topic of content, why content matters, and how to do it is important, and I'm going to try to explain why it is important, then please, bring people in, share this on your page, tag people below. Let's get people part of the conversation. And then later on during the broadcast, you can share your own questions, share your own insights, connect with other people that are joining the conversation. Maybe you can connect with them and get some get some new friends here. That would actually be really great. I'd love to see that. Look, Manny's here. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Again, let me know again where you're all from. Right? Some of you from the U.S., some of you from Canada, some of you from other places. I've seen people as far away as like Nigeria, Australia, India, different parts of Europe. I haven't seen anybody from South America. Oh, actually, there was someone from Brazil. That was actually kind of cool. So it's kind of cool to be able to have this live stream and talk to as many people as possible. So thank you for joining me. And again, I do this every Monday to Friday. Every Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A couple of other things that I do every week. I have usually what's called a Wisdom Wednesday interview with somebody, usually an influencer or a thought leader or an expert in their field. And this week actually is going to be tomorrow. And the reason is because I haven't had the time. Because actually the reason is because Wednesday is Eid, and so Eid is like a big celebration for Muslims, and it's the end of Ramadan, and so my family is planning this, and so I'll be hanging with them. So I moved my Wisdom Wednesday interview to Tuesday, which is going to be like Thoughtful Tuesday, and it's going to be with Amy Davies, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be a really an awesome time in terms of what we're gonna chat about. For the most part, I forgot the topic we're going to talk about. I think we're going to talk about something about probably, are you going to lose your job, right? So what happens if dealing with a job loss. We're gonna get into that. So that's going to be a really great topic. So let's dive into what the topic is today, is why content matters. So the reason I brought this up is because a lot of times on LinkedIn, I will actually ask people, and I'll say, hey, are you doing any public speaking events coming up? Or I'll say, listen, what are you doing to speak? And people are always like, well, no, I'm not doing any speaking. Okay, well, I say, why not? I say, well, I'm new at my job, or I'm new at my career, or, I don't know what I'd speak about. And the reason I ask the question is because, as a professional speaker myself, I want to make sure people are out there sharing their expertise. But then I asked them the second question. So it's important for you to get out there and speak. And speaking is one of the best ways to deliver content around your expertise, your experience, your stories, your brand, who you are. No matter what age you are, no matter what level you're at, it doesn't matter where you are. Like there are opportunities for everybody. Like even if you're just starting out, you just got a job out of university. You can't go back to your high school and offer a couple of nuggets to the kids before they enter university. Of course you can. So you can totally do that. Then I always ask a follow-up. I said, well, if you're not doing speaking, what else are you doing to build a thought leadership brand? Are you doing any content? Like, are you posting on LinkedIn? Are you doing articles, blogs, and whatnot? And again, they're like, no. Okay. And I said, so what are you on here for? And they're like, well, I'm looking for a job. I said, okay, well, if you're looking for a job, then maybe you create a content that someone actually might see you to say, wow, he's talking about stuff that we need for our company, and next thing you get hired. Or they'll say, well, I'm here to network. I'm like, okay, well, if you create content then people will start to follow your broadcast, your post, and say, "Oh wow, this person's putting together some really cool stuff. I want to connect with them." And you might find some really amazing people that you hadn't thought about in terms of targeting, because LinkedIn has 600 million people. Like, how do you know where everyone is and all the awesome people? So the right targeted strategic content will actually attract the right people you want to connect with. And then the other one I get is, I'm too busy. And it's funny because we're all busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. Everyone's busy. In fact, even if you're not busy, you find ways to be busy. You whatever time you have, you fill it up with stuff. We just do it. Like, whether someone has 100 hours a week free time, someone has 10 hours a week free time, we fill it up with stuff. So we're all busy. And I don't like the idea that anyone's business is more important than someone else's business. So whether you're a CEO or an admin assistant, all our busyness is on equal level. Now, that said, since you are busy, that's what and sorry, hello Josh and Tapan and Jennifer, and oh, look at this, some of the weekend activities, rebuilding a deck, in India, from Saudi Arabia, thanks Karen, from Dubai. This is awesome. I love all these people coming in. I should say this weekend I spent the time with the kids. They had a lot of performances, shows, dances, recitals. It was crazy, and it's going to happen again this week and that following weekend as well. And then, of course, I saw the Raptors game last night. They lost, kind of sad. That 18-0 run in the third quarter really was brutal, but what are you going to do? All right, Stephanie's here from Delray Beach. Sajid Kumar's here. Good. So going back into the discussion about content. So a lot of people say they're too busy. And one of the things they'll say, well, I'm too busy because I'm trying to build my business. I'm too busy because I'm trying to focus on my career. Now, content creation is essentially the training and health of your brand. So if you want to get more business leads, if you want to get more career opportunities, if you want to make an impression on people in your career, then it's just like your health. If you want to be fit and healthy, you got to eat right. You got to do some exercise, right? So content creation is like exercise. Content creation is like putting together a really healthy salad or a healthy meal, because it's actually going to be better for you physically, for your physical brand. So content creation is also going to be a huge, healthy benefit to your overall thought leadership brand as a leader, as a professional, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a thought leader, whatever it is you're trying to build for yourself. And you have to carve out time during the day. I'm not saying spend the entire time doing content, but like, if you're a busy entrepreneur working 60 hours a week to build your business, spending 1 or 2 hours a week creating content around your business, your expertise, or your product, and getting people excited about that kind of stuff is going to benefit you, and it's going to attract clients and customers. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want more customers? Don't you want to, and if you do speaking or do video content, you're going to 10x the ability to get out there and get people to listen to your stuff and build a community and build followers. I think that's so important. Now, if you have questions about what we're talking about, or you have comments, or whatever, share below and engage people and start chatting about this. But, I'm trying to convince you that content is king, content is queen, content matters. I read a post from another person today that talked about how content is so important. Yeah, it is so important. Even if you just start a new job, you got to carve out time to maybe talk about the learning on the new job, or talk about your career insights, or whatever. You never know what might happen. Maybe another opportunity comes your way, but building your brand starts now. It doesn't happen overnight. So, even someone who starts a brand new job and it's a learning curve and steep and they're really busy, you can't carve out 1 hour to put a post. Do it on the weekend then. I don't care. Once a week, just share something. Share a story, share something you learned, share something that your new job excites you, whatever it might be. But just put it there and just keep it consistent. That's why my broadcast is every Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because it's consistent. So people now know, okay, Bobby's going to be on. I'm ready for this. I can't wait to hear what he's going to say, or what's the topic this week. I'm curious, right? And then, speaking of topics, you guys can submit topics you want. Just comment below and give me topic ideas. I'll put them in my feed. Same with if you have people that you think should be interviewed and have expertise, tag them below, and I will reach out to them and I will interview them for my weekly Wisdom Wednesday interviews. So, so content is actually going to help your business. Okay, that's a really big one. It's going to help your business. You're going to get leads, you're going to get clients, you're going to get customers, you're going to get people talking about you and your business, your brand. So creating content as an entrepreneur or a business is critical. Content will also help your career, because when people see you talking about the stuff that you're known for, and whether you're trying to build, let's say, a brand, let's say you're trying to build your career in sales, then doing sales content will help you. Let's say you're trying to transition from sales into marketing, then start doing blogs and posts and videos about marketing. And pretty soon people say, wow, that guy or that woman did 10 posts about marketing. That's kind of cool. And next thing you know, you're known for that part. So, I highly encourage you to do more of that, because it's actually going to benefit you for your content. And the last thing I'll say about content is that, content is part of your thought leadership brand, right? So here's the thing, like thought leadership. So what thought leadership really means is, if you want to be seen as a thought leader, as the go-to person, as someone who's well-known, someone who has the expertise, someone who has the knowledge, someone who's driving the conversation in your field, whatever it is, whether it's nanotechnology or shoemaking or marketing or sales or digital, whatever it might be, then thought leadership is broken down into 3 areas. The people who are thought leaders, like Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Gary Vaynerchuk, Brené Brown. These people are thought leaders in the field for various reasons, but there's 3 things they're doing. Okay, one is they're networking broadly, and they're networking deeply and building deep relationships. So you should be doing that too. Number 2, they're creating awesome new ideas and content. So Jay-Z's writing songs, Oprah's writing books, Gary Vaynerchuk's doing videos. They're always making content, so content's part of it. And the third thing they're doing is they're always working on their speaking and their writing through speaking events, through videos, through blogs, through articles, through posts, through everything they want, through writing reports. So you have to do that too. And so you saw content was the second one of the 3. I mean, but again, they all relate. The content will actually help you build relationships. Content will help you work on your speaking and writing. Content will actually help you build expertise around who you are. And it doesn't matter how old you are. There's a young man out there who's doing videos on YouTube who is talking about the latest smartphones and what he thinks about them, what he doesn't think about them. And now, having reviewed every smartphone for the last 2-3 years, he's now considered a thought leader in his field for smartphones. And he's so young. He's in his early 20s. So it doesn't matter how old you are. You can create content anytime. So this idea that you're too busy to create content, well, again, you are ignoring the health of your business and your brand and your career if you don't create content. And I like that analogy. So I'm going to run with that one, because I think it works really, really well. Okay, just like for my personal health or whatever physical health, if you don't eat well, or you don't actually, work on, working out or walking or doing any sort of physical fitness, it's going to actually wreak havoc on your health. So doing a little bit every week is really helpful. And thank you, Hassan, for liking my t-shirt. I love Hogwarts. I love Harry Potter. And my daughter's on book 5. My son finished it, so it's kind of exciting. So that's the part about, welcome Abby from Winnipeg. He's a Pegger. That's awesome. And again, if you have questions or comments, you can comment below. Now I'm going to talk about how you put together this content. So I really spent a lot of time on why content is important. I probably should have made this a 2 or 3 part series, because it's so important. But that's the why. Maybe I'll go deeper on the how. But how you create content, again, it's very, very easy to create content. First off, just tell us how you feel about anything work-related, right? You have a new boss. What is an important thing for you that you like about bosses? You don't have to talk about your boss, but just talk about what you like about bosses. Something at work happened that was a win or a fail. What's the learning from that? You meet some, and again, if you like what you're hearing, like, clap, heart, light bulb, that thinking face. By all means, do that, and let people join this conversation. Let's get some more people here. You can create content just from your daily observations. But you can also create content just by thinking about it. I mean, there's so many different ways to get content. One great way is, let's say you are an expert in a field, and what you do is you go to any sort of website where they have on that topic, where they have a Quora or a Quora.com or frequently asked questions, and they ask questions. So, for example, I'm an expert in personal branding. So if you go to Quora and you type in personal branding, you'll see questions that people ask about personal branding. That's a topic, right? They say, well, how do I start personal branding? Boom, that's a topic. I'm a networking expert. Okay, so you go to the networking thing. What do they say? They say, well, who do I approach when I go to a networking event? Boom, that's a topic. So it's very easy to come up with topics. You can crowdsource. Go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Say, hey, listen, I want to do some content around topic X. What are your questions around this? And then get people to give you some information, and right away you come up with 3-4 different topics That's really important. Um, Richard says Bobby's three C's: connecting, contenting, communicating. Yeah, I mean, actually, that's funny because I always say, communication plus caring equals connection. But it also creates community, which also creates change. So content is a big part of creating that connection. I mean, when you meet somebody in person, you're sharing your life and you invest in them, and that's creating that connection too. But yeah, I think that content will also create that connection, create community, which is also really important. If you want to create change in any sort of industry too, similar to that, you can also create that content. So other ways to create content, you can do like a day in your life. You can start putting together a list of questions, observations. You can look at other people's posts, right? Here's one. If you would be so kind, and I'm not, you can take this post, this live stream I did today on content, and what you do is you share it on your own page, and then give your so what. Bobby shared this really great live stream on why content matters, how to get started. Here's my thoughts on why content's important, and then blah blah blah. Say below, boom. That's and then tag me. That's content, and you are providing value for your network. So that's a very general way to create content. Now, for me, I keep content ideas on my phone. Like I have a notes page. I also have a Word document where I keep track of content, and some of the content I've kept over the years, and I now have an entire database. Because here's the thing: once you write content, when I first started on LinkedIn creating content, I used to do a daily tip, Bobby's daily tip, LinkedIn daily tip, I call it, and I think I did about maybe 100 of those, and got a lot of traction, and I kept them. And so now I have them because they're gonna be great helpful to me whenever I need to maybe repurpose content or come up with some new ideas. Because here's the thing: you can also you can create your own content, you can repurpose content, you can also curate content, which is like I put together these 5 great quotes that mean a lot to me from different people. Here's what I think of them, things like that. Or you also know that some people out there they actually will tag me and say, here are 5 really awesome people on LinkedIn that I love. And some people tag, hey, Bob, I love Bob because of this, and I love Rich because of this, I love Sally because of this, and they tag them, which brings a lot of, and then they say, tag 3 more people that you think are awesome. And what that does actually is a way to create more virality around your post. I'm not saying you should do that, but it certainly helps. Focus more on the value. I mean, the other thing with content is you want to make sure it's valuable, right? So and relevant. I mean, on LinkedIn, for example, you want to make sure that the content relates to professional life, right? So now that doesn't mean you can't talk about personal stuff. I mean, as a parent and the busyness of my life, for me, it becomes a little bit crazy, right? But professionals understand that. Professionals understand like what it's like to be, parent and have those challenges. Now I see some questions going on there, so let me dive into some of these questions, all right? And we'll go from there. Let's see here. So, okay, and yeah, a lot of people didn't share what they did on their weekends. Let me know what you said. Clear, catchy communication. Yeah, that's important to have for any content. Speaking versus blogs or video content or mix of all. Good question. So should we speak, blog, or video? Well, ideally, if you can have a mix of all, that's fine. Although, I mean, I don't blog very often anymore. I used to, but now that video is so popular on LinkedIn and other platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and live stream is now available on all 4 platforms, it's where I naturally feel at home. Doesn't mean I can't do a blog post. I probably could, but I'd rather just actually upload a video and then share, maybe a paragraph to why this video is so important and my thoughts on, or a summary, right? That's what I would do. So, but mixing it up actually, if you want to create a larger community and create some variety, sure, that's fine. You can totally do that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think everyone should be speaking. I mean, yeah, there's opportunities for you to go out there and speak. If you want more help, you can check out my speaker mastermind group and get some information on that. Or you can check out my Patreon page that has some career development and speaking advice as well. But I think a mix of all is really, really good. Love my T-shirt. I do too. That's good. Let's see here. Do you know how LinkedIn allows you rights to publish articles? I've been trying to curate some articles. Well, I mean, allows you rights to publish articles. I mean, if these are your own original articles, you can write whatever you want. So what I would recommend for that is, you can write a longer article on, like, in the LinkedIn article place, but then you can put a couple snippets and highlights of that article in an actual post, like a text-based post on LinkedIn, and then will allude to the entire article in the post. For more, check this link out. I think that would be really good. In terms of curating some articles, yeah, I mean, if you want to curate articles of other people, go for it. As long as you tag them and you credit them, I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. I would just go for it. I mean, just start. Like, stop worrying about the different logistical details. Like, again, you got to be proper about it, be professional. So being professional means citing who these people are and where they're from, the content's from. But ultimately, yeah, you can create stuff very, very easily. Let's see here. Yeah, so Arnold says advertising your position and facts on points of it. Yeah, so I mean, one great way to create articles and create content is to just share your position and facts on points of interest, right? If you're into blockchain, cryptocurrency, share some stuff, share some data and your thoughts on it. Don't just tell us the what, tell us the so what, right? The what and the so what, right? Give the what and then why should we care? Why do you care? What's so cool about it? What's so interesting? That's the so what. So make sure you do that, all right? More questions. And again, if you like what you're hearing, like, clap, heart, share us on your own pages, tag people to join the conversation. Again, I'm here every Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing an interview tomorrow on losing your job with Amy Jenkins, and then also on and then also if you want people to be in an interview, let me know. All right, more questions here. Is there a content counter tool that you recommend? That's a good question, Jennifer. Actually, I don't use one. I actually I keep track of content. For me, as long as I've kept track of content in my upcoming list, I already know I'm going to be doing stuff every day. So it's already planned on my calendar. So I use my Google Calendar reminder. Bobby, you're going live at 8:30 a.m. So it helps me do that. A lot of people, use Google calendars and things like that. But I mean, there are great content calendars for posting content. I mean, I've used Hootsuite, I've used Buffer, I've used MeetEdgar, and a lot of people use the content calendar later for Instagram posts, and they plan their entire month. So I mean, those are the things you can use. But for creating content around my stuff, no, I would make sure I had a list. And then I would just have, the daily content or the weekly content. I'm not saying to do, and again, people always ask me, how often do you do it? Well, minimally monthly, but if you do more than that, that'd be great. I think weekly is a great way to, I mean, again, it only takes an hour or 30 minutes. It depends. If it's just a text-based post, it can take you literally 10 minutes to write something. But, video might take a little bit longer. All right. Do you have any book recommendations about content creation? That's hard for me to say, Abby, because I haven't actually read any books specifically on content creation. I'm sure there's probably some great books by Seth Godin on marketing to your tribes, and his blog post is phenomenal for that type of stuff. Gary Vaynerchuk probably has a lot of great stuff on content creation, and I think the idea is to just start for the most part. But books specifically about content creation, I mean, you could probably read some books about branding. Dory Clark has a book on branding called Stand Out, and that probably talks a bit more about how to create that stuff. Again, I'm doing more stuff around program. I have a lot of programs that I do where I help people network more and build content. So, I'm more about online programs and videos content versus books. But hey, yeah, if anyone else has the ideas, let Abby know and comment in the comments, because this is why we're here. We're all a community to help each other out. You're welcome. So yeah, Rich used Google Calendar. Arnold asks, do you feel it's a great benefit to research content? Well, it depends on the topic. I mean, so one of my articles that's on my LinkedIn page, it's called Twitter 280, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now that article, I did a lot of research on. It took me about 6 hours to write. Normally a blog post will take me about an hour to write. I'm pretty fast. But that one took me 6 hours because I did a lot of research and I had to put it all together and curate it and massage it in place and make it a short. It took me a while. The reason I did that is because I'm a big Twitter guy. I have 450,000 followers on Twitter. So if I'm a Twitter expert, I need to put some due diligence into it. And if I'm going to convince people of my point, particularly on Twitter, which is full of a lot of trolls, you have to really make a compelling point and argument. So I laid out my points and use data and use my kind of position to try to figure that stuff out. All right, so for me, that's what I did. I think it's really important to. I think it's definitely really important to have research for certain articles. Now, when I talk about networking, I might throw in a couple of pieces of data. When I talk about personal branding, I talk about data. When I talk about public speaking, I talk about data. We all know like data around video content, for example, is 12 times more effective than just regular text posts. So that's why live stream and uploading videos is way better for your content creation and community building than this stuff. So it gets more traction. So, research for your content is going to be great. And when I do speeches and my keynotes as a professional speaker, yeah, I almost have research for almost every topic I've done. Because for me, when I do public speaking, and last week I did a 4-part series on public speaking and how to get started. One of the things I talked about is, in most of my speeches, I'll have a personal story, I'll have a case study, I'll have data, and then I'll engage the audience specifically. And the combination of those 4 things allows me to persuade the audience very well with my position on things. All right, so any more questions here? Jennifer recommends the book You Are a Brand by Catherine Caputa. Awesome, I'm glad to hear. All right, so Richard's going to start some videos. That's great. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Awesome. And actually, if you want more help with video content, again, the links below on this post, there's a thing called Master Video, which I run with String Nguyen. Check that out because it's a great community of video people who are trying to learn how to be better and create more confidence. More questions. Okay, and again, the topic today is creating content. Content matters. Here's how to do it. I talked about why content creation is important. It's important because it actually helps the health of your brand, health of your career, the health of your business. It'll drive opportunities, leads. It creates business. It creates revenue. It creates community, and these are all things that you need for your business, for your career, for your brand. And then I talk about how to do it. And I talk about different tactics you can use to start building content, talking about the what and the so what, repurposing content, curating content, creating original content, answering questions, using FAQs, using Quora. There's lots of ways to do it. So go back to the beginning of the video and you can learn that kind of stuff. All right. Question by Hassan. How do you deal with trolls and ensure that they do not get under your skin? There are cons to getting content traction, right? Okay, first one, trolls. So the truth is trolls exist everywhere, right? And the reason is because people are hurting, right? Hurt people. And everyone who's a troll on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, they're projecting their pain, they're projecting their damage. And they do it because, they've gone through something upsetting or whatever. So the best way to deal with a troll, the first thing is to start with empathy for the troll, right? So I know it's hard, but if you understand that hurt people, and the only people that are trolling are those who project their pain and damage and their experiences that they've been through, then it'll help you understand it better and not get so worked up when they say something really nasty. I've had people say to me to lose weight, they've called me a fat ass, they've called me a toad, they've called me racist stuff. A lot of this is on Twitter, but I've had some of these things on LinkedIn as well. And so the empathy helps me to not let it get to me too much. The second thing is you now decide, okay, determine the severity of the troll-like comment. How bad is it? Did they say something absolutely reprehensive and horrible about you or your brand or your company or your friends? Then if they did, then you probably need to respond. And that's a rare case. 5% of the time you need to respond. Most of the time you just ignore them. But sometimes you respond, and sometimes you respond just simply by deleting, block, get rid of it. Other times I'll make an all-categorical statement to clarify my position and then call on them to respond more professionally. And if they don't, I let them know I'm going to delete their comment. And that usually shuts them up. And I have a standard template where I do that, and it works really well. In fact, I've been known to take on certain trolls on LinkedIn and have them actually remove their own comment, which is an ultimate win. It's yeah, that's a win, because if they can remove their content, great. And then the final thing to do is then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for getting upset about the troll content. It makes sense. We're human. We get upset when someone insults me. Of course, it's going to hurt a little bit. So I think it's okay to understand that and not feel so bad when it happens to you. Okay, I think that's really important. Now, there's a question here. There are cons to getting content traction, right? I'm not sure. If you're suggesting that trolls are the con to getting content traction, listen, having trolls actually here. Let's flip that to gratitude. Having trolls means that your content is getting attention, and I think that's actually a good thing. So don't worry about that. The cons to getting traction, might be the only con I can think of is that well, you might feel guilty not being able to respond to everything, right? To all the comments and stuff. So like, how do you respond? Well, eventually you can. I get that. Like, when Oleg or Bridget, share content on LinkedIn, they have like thousands of comments. They obviously can't respond to everything. And when I used to upload videos every day, I would do that. I would respond to every comment, and then it took me forever. And then I scale back to only like a few videos per week. Now I'm doing this daily broadcast, and so again, it's taking some of my time. Mike asks, is it better to choose a specific name or your own name as creating a brand for yourself? That's a good question. I mean, again, a lot of it depends on your business or what you're trying to do, but I still believe that every single one of you is your own brand, personal brand, so I think you should think about having your name as well. So when I started my company, it was called Ray Allen. It still is Ray Allen for my speaking business, but Bobby Umar is also the brand. I know that now, and so I have both. Right? You can go if you click on BobbyUmar.com, it'll go to Ray Allen, my website. But I think that ultimately we all are our own brands. So you have to have a little bit of both at first until you feel comfortable doing just one on your own. But if you want to build something from scratch, there's nothing wrong with starting with your own name and just creating content around your name and building that up, because that's how everyone's going to know you. They're not going to remember, like no one's going to remember, unless you're a brand like Nike or Virgin, like they're not going to remember your name. CT Consulting, like no one knows what the hell that is. So like, how are they going to remember that kind of stuff? So I think you just go with your name, Clarence Terwilliger, and just that's your brand, and you can build it up. I don't know. It's my belief that it's very important to build communities for your content. Absolutely. So every single one of you, and again, thanks for the thumbs up and the hearts. I love that. I love the hearts. It's so nice. So I mean, the idea about creating content is building community, right? Building community around your expertise and creating followers that love that kind of content. So my posts here are all about the career journey, leadership, career development, entrepreneurship, personal branding, professional speaking, all the stuff, the digital influence and marketing. That's what I talk about, and now people are joining me to learn about that kind of stuff. And sorry, Mike said, is it better? Oh, I see. Okay, is it better to choose a specific? Well, again, I think it's better to choose. Good question. I think it's better to choose your own name, honestly, if you're gonna pick one. But I think if you're gonna start with both. If you have a cool company name, like there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you and your name are prominently featured there, and that way you can build it up. But if you're starting up your own solopreneur business, I would start with your name. Like that to me is way more important. Let's see here. Let's see. Richard says, I think the best thing to do is figure out your rhythm, how long to create your content, how long to publish, etc. Then set the time in your calendar, figure out your frequency. Yeah, I mean, you have to decide first off, what does your target want, right? And then come up with your frequency that you want. Is it once a month? Is it twice a month? Once a week? Twice a week? Figure that out. And then based on your target, then decide, okay, how you want to do it, right? So for this live stream, I've decided on every day, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. for about 20 or 30 minutes. And then every week I'm doing an interview. Now that may change, evolve as I grow, because as I listen to people, it may change, because the interviews are, I've already booked quite a few. And so maybe I'll do more interviews because, or one of the things the idea was, I could have like an Ask Me Anything Friday, just fun Friday, just ask me anything, and I'll just do a live stream. But from what I've heard from most people, the feedback is they prefer LinkedIn live stream content that is specific on a topic. So I'm continuing to do that for now. Let's see other questions. I appreciate the kind words about the insults I get on LinkedIn and Twitter and whatever. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's hard sometimes, but I manage it, and I thank you for your kind words. Let's see. Live Assets has started creating video content on job opportunities in Toronto, inspired by Bobby Umar's LinkedIn Local event. Wow, the LinkedIn Local in Toronto. Yeah, that's great. By the way, I forgot to mention, I'm doing a webinar this week on storytelling, presenting live and online. And next week, I'm doing a live workshop on storytelling and how to become a better how to become a better presenter, I guess. Build your presentation skills, presenting live. It's a workshop in Toronto. If anybody's interested, I can share the link. Well, I'm glad that Jennifer found that helpful. More comments. When we don't take anything personal, we find our enemies tell us some of the most important things. Yeah, it's a good point, Richard. And the other thing is, haters have feedback. Haters give you information, right? So that's feedback too. If you're willing to be open to the feedback, when they hate on something or they attack you or whatever it is, what is that? Is there anything I can glean from that? If there is, that's great. If anything, you can start working on your heart muscle with your empathy and not letting it get to you. I think it's an important exercise for us to try to figure out. Let's see here. More stuff. Yes, fewer tools is better. I totally agree. Like I try really hard to not have. I mean, there's so many tools out there, right? So whenever someone say, "Oh, I'm using Slack," now I use Asana. What about Trello? Like, oh, Trello, oh my God, like there's so many. But I've definitely I've gotten on board to Slack and Asana now, and different tools. Other people rave about Evernote. I haven't tried it yet. Yeah, I mean they can definitely help, but I try really hard to keep the tools to a minimum. So and always try to make sure I'm using the same ones all the time consistently. Hi, Normalia. Good to see you. Looks like other people are joining in as well, but we're near the end of my broadcast. It's already past 9 o'clock. Wow. Okay, it's 9:09. So again, if you have any other questions about the topic today, or you want to engage people on the comments, or you want to get more people part of the conversation, share this on your page, tag me below, share your comments. I will definitely review the comments later on, and if there's any great questions, I will get to them. But otherwise, tomorrow I have an interview on what happens when you lose your job and how to deal with that in terms of transition with Amy Jenkins. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be awesome. And then on Wednesday's Eid, so I won't be actually broadcasting live. So happy Eid to everybody who's celebrating. And then I'll be back on Thursday and Friday in the morning to do my daily broadcast. So again, content. Hopefully you like this content. If you do, please share, please like, please get people involved and bring them to the conversation. And join me again the next day. If you haven't created your own content, just create a content. Just talk about this broadcast and what you thought about it. I mean that's easy content. Create a content where you just ask a question, share a quote. But again, always share the so what. And again, content matters because it builds your business, it builds clients, it builds opportunities, it builds leads, it builds community. And that's where you create change for your career, your business, and your thought leadership personal brand. So hope that makes sense. I might dive deeper into some of the topics around content creation and show you kind of how I do it in more deeper ways. But for now, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful week. On a beautiful, beautiful June. It's the summer's coming, the warm weather's coming. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.